Welcome back to the Dixie Belle YouTube channel. In the video today, I'm going to be using some Dixie Belle products to make over this stunning chest of drawers. As always, we're going to start with the prep. I'm using Dixie Belle's white lining cleaner to give these a really good clean. They'd been in storage for quite a while, so they were a little bit dusty. You'd notice I've taken the drawers out because I'm going to deal with those separately. So once I cleaned it, I just rinsed all of the cleaning product off with some clean warm water. There was a little bit of damage on the top as well, so I just filled that in and left it to dry. The original finish was a varnish finish and it was pretty tough, and I didn't want to sand it all down, so I'm opting for an adhesion primer. This is also a stain blocking primer in one. I applied 2 coats of this, it's called Bonding Boss, and left it to dry for 24 hours. The next thing I did is move on to the drawer fronts. Now these are a veneered wood, which means it can be quite delicate. So I didn't want to sand through the veneer and cause any damage to it. So I opted for a chemical stripper. This one's eco-friendly. It worked really well, and I just applied it fairly liberally, left it for half an hour, and then used a scraper to remove the existing varnish. If you've ever used chemical stripper before, you'll know that you get a little bit of a sticky residue left over from the kind of residue of the chemical stripper. Once you've got the majority off with a scraper, you normally have to wipe that off or whatever. I have found the perfect solution to get rid of that, and it's scrubby soap. It works so well. So all I've got in the bucket is just a little bit of warm water, and that's just to create a lather on the soap, and I'm just rubbing it directly onto the drawer front. The essential oils in the soap break down the sticky residue, and the scrubber just helps to kind of really get in there without damaging the delicate wood. It works super well. And then I'm just going to remove the majority of the moisture with a rag and dry them off. Once these drawers were completely dry, there was a little bit of sanding I need to do, but I just used a sanding sponge, which is equivalent to a 220 grit, just because this is fairly gentle and wasn't going to scratch the drawers. Just to be on the safe side, because obviously I've used chemical stripper and then scrubby soap, I'm just going to give these another clean with white lightning just to make sure there's nothing left over on the surface of these. And then I gave them a rinse with warm water and a microfiber cloth just so that I've got a nice blank canvas. And then when they were drying, I went back to the main body of the drawers, and I'm using this gorgeous deep blue colour. It's from Dixie Belle's Silk All-in-One mineral paint range, and it's called Deep Sea. I like to work in small sections and just get it on, and then once that kind of panel or side is dry, what I do is just really lightly pass my brush over the surface, and that just makes it lie super smooth. This paint has got self-leveling properties, but I just like to do this because it makes it nice and smooth. And the brush that I'm using here is also a Dixie Belle synthetic brush, which works fantastically with silk mineral paint for a really smooth, flawless finish. For the drawer fronts, when they were completely dry, I used a wood conditioner. So again, this is a Dixie Belle product. It's quite a new product. You don't have to use it when you are using a wood stain, but I'm going to do so on this one because I don't want these dried out drawers to grip onto the wood stain and give a really opaque finish. I just want a kind of tint. So this just helps nourish the wood, condition it. You can see on the right hand side we have the one that's done with the wood conditioner, and the left hand side is the dry unconditioned drawer front. So this can help a wood stain go on evenly. If you do have very dry wood, it helps nourish the wood, and like the name suggests, it conditions it before you apply your wood stain, and just helps the wood stain go on nice and evenly. And in my case, it's not going to kind of grab onto the wood stain when I put it on. It's just going to give a kind of a tint as opposed to a very kind of opaque finish. So I just wiped on the No Paint Gel Stain. The shade that I'm using is Golden Ash, and then I just wipe the excess off. So you can still see the pretty grain, but it's just deepened it slightly. For the interior of the piece, this was all constructed out of wood, but the wood was kind of dried out and just, yeah, a little bit dried out, and the drawers were a little bit stiff when they were running. So I'm using Big Mama's butter to nourish the inside. I did it all over the drawer runners and the drawer sides, and that way the drawers glide nice and smoothly. And then the inside of the drawers, I had to do a little bit of filling and repair work because I did change the handles from the original ones to these, so there was a little bit of damage done to the interior of the drawers when I was taking the handles off. So I used Bond Emboss on the inside, which again is the primer that I used at the start of the video, and then I used this kind of really pretty teal colour. This is called Mirage, and again it's from the Silk Mineral paint range, which has a built-in stain blocking primer and a built-in top coat, so I don't need to top coat the interior of these drawers. I then just went around the kind of lip of the drawer with a little bit of gold gilding wax and then buffed it off so it's nice and shiny. And I also decided kind of last minute to do a little bit of gold around the drawers as well. Again, I'm using gold gilding wax. This is an oil-based, permanent, very highly pigmented metallic wax. I'm just applying it with my finger for a little bit of detail, and then again buff the excess off. So you can see here nice contrast between the dark wood and the pretty blue colour. Remember, if you want to grab any of the products that I've used in the video, you can do so in the description below. Thank you for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to the Dixie Belle YouTube channel, and I will see you next time.